Now y'all get the fuck out of here. Go on, get.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets Out, a podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I am Russ.
I'm Jared.
Oh, my favorite line. Go on, get.
Go on, get.
Go on, get. It means you gotta go.
But don't go on and get.
No.
Listen to the episode.
Yeah, stay with us. Stay with us. Take us with you. Put your earbuds in and just, then you can go on get.
Yeah, that's right. Go on, get in your car or go for a walk.
Go down a pit of hell.
Don't do that.
Don't do that? Oh, okay. Don't do that. Go spelunking.
Well, terrifying sport. Not interested.
No, thank you. No me gusta. So we're back with part 2 of our full breakdown of the 2021 film The Devil Below. Huh.
That's right.
It's a movie.
That's right.
From our Ponzi scheme buddy there, Zach Avery. Zach Attack.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Stealing millions. Good for you, buddy. Mm-hmm. Well, no, not good for you. You got caught, dummy.
Hey, speaking of having a sense of humor, which you have to when you're in prison.
That's right.
Being a miner might seem like a serious job, but I've got a bunch of mine facts for us in part 2.
I love this.
For example, miners are known for having a good sense of humor. Way back when, they used to tell newcomers things like, go get me a left-handed hammer, or can you go fetch a bucket of steam? Knowing that you don't do those things.
Because you can't do those things, but...
Yeah, it was a test of like how stupid is the new guy.
Good old hazing, right? Why can't we bring on back good old-fashioned hazing like that? They get to the act like, wait, they're all left-handed.
Yeah, so funny. Good one, miners.
Those miners, yeah. So funny.
So get ready for more stuff like that.
Can't wait. So where did we leave off? We left off with our crew of bros and our Lara Croft light leader here has found the full town, the quarry, the mine gate, the mine opening to the pit of hell.
That's right.
We got locals kind of hot in their tail, but not really. We got one local's dead.
Yep. Yeah. Nobody's paying attention to anything really around here.
Not really.
You'd think if they were taking their job seriously and this is all they've been doing for 40 years, like you think it'd be a little more locked down, right?
Yeah. I think you got someone patrolling and doing some shift work around the gate itself.
Yeah, a little more surveillance, probably some cameras or something.
You got alarms up. You can get a nest or two, stick them out there.
Yeah, this came out in 2021. Like we're not, this is in the dark ages.
No. All right, so we get to the main entrance here. The mine entrance here. We're at the mine entrance. That's Australian because I don't know why I'm doing Australian all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean the British guy's accent is okay.
Let's be nice. He's dead. So
yeah, well, so we don't have to be that nice because he's dead.
That's true. He has no idea what we're saying right now. So
he doesn't care.
Does not care. Does not give any shits. So they're excited. They're like, "Hey, we found the mine entrance. Yeah, we did it. We found the lost town of Atlantis here, of Appalachia."
That's right.
And this gate is also electrified, but it's just hooked up to some jumper cables. So
yeah.
You would think that if you were on the outside and you're like, oh, wow, why is this electrified from the outside where we can take this off? Probably because there's something down there you want to keep in. That's the first sign. So
one would think. Yeah. So they take it off.
Start snipping wires and cables.
Yep. And they're like pulling up the grate because, of course, they are. And she's like, whoa. Y'all shouldn't be doing this. I can't authorize this. Like, we need to have lines and clips, and like everybody needs safety equipment so we don't fall in the giant hole.
Right.
And Darren's like, whoa. You can't authorize shit. I say, keep going.
That's right. You're not the boss of me, right?
Yeah. Yep. And they're like, let's find out how deep this hole is.
First thing you do, right? How deep is this well go?
And Sean's like, I've got a bad feeling about this.
More Star Wars reference. Yeah. And then the audio guy, he's putting together his technical equipment. Some guy's like, hey, what's that thing do? Terry, right? And then the other guy, Jamie, asks him, like, oh, what does that do? Or Zach Avery there. And he's like, he gives some annoyingly technical thing. And Darren's just like, it's
to check for anthracite.
It's just, this is all it is. He's like, oh, why didn't you say that?
And then, so Sean's the one who ends up lowering the thing into the hole here, and he just like leans over the hole like a big dum dum the whole time. And you're like,
yeah, I think you're the one who wanted to get out of here.
Yeah, of course Sean's gonna fall down. In my mind, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
By a miracle.
I know. So the tech tool goes all the way down in the pit, and they're starting taking some readings, and then got some like, oh man, we found C11H15-0. You know.
Never seen anything like it. So pure.
This is pure snow. And we get the shot from the trailer where Terry's listening to like the audio still, and then he gets spooked like, oh, whoa, what the heck, man? Something really loud just came on.
Yeah.
And it literally sounds like a monster or a zombie. I would just like, it's time to go, right? Let's pack the bags. Let's get out of here. They don't. So then, it's all kind of from the trailer. Everyone's like, oh, what is this? And then
and then Terry steps into a loop on the ground. And
he gets roped in.
Roped into the pit. Poor Terry.
A little minor joke for you.
Except he's like, oh my God.
He just gets dragged. Like, that's not gonna do too well. So then
he lands presumably hundreds of feet down. Like, this is a pretty deep hole, I think.
Yes.
But he's fine other than his broken leg.
A little bloodied up, but he looks like he's got the wind knocked out of him.
And he's like screaming though, so obviously he doesn't have the wind knocked out of him because he's like, you guys, help me, you guys.
Like, I think he'd just be dead or unconscious, right?
Yes, definitely.
So he's down on the ground, and I love how like he's laying on the ground and they look over, and I don't think they can see, but the camera shows him, and he just like his body just like spins on the ground and gets like dragged into like the fog. So comical.
And Sean's like, we shouldn't be here again, you guys.
Like, Sean, shut up, dude. Like, what are you doing? Why are you part of this crew?
Yeah, but and then the opposite of that, Ariane's like, follow my lead. I'm gonna go in the hole.
Let's go get him. We got to go get him. You know. And then like, why isn't security doing security stuff here? So, anyways. So then, so Jimmy and Ariane, they quickly like cable up and belay themselves down to the bottom of the pit there, right? And they're calling for Terry. Like, we get this scene from the trailer. The creature sneaks past the camera in the background. Terry, you down here, Terry? And then the Woody pulls up, and it's not Dale. It is Dale. It's Dale, right?
Yeah. Well, there's like a little quick flash of a monster down.
I said that.
Them,
he runs in front of the camera.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the Woody pulls up. Dale gets out, and he's like, "What the hell are you all doing up here?" You know,
like, we need help. He's like, I thought that I was chasing you guys out of town.
Yeah. You didn't read the signs. Warning: do not enter. So down in the pit, Ariane's like, we got to go. Jamie's like, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. And she's like, no, we got to get out of here. And we cut back up top, and
and he's like, starts like, how long has this been open? We got to cut this line.
And then the holy man, Sean, comes out of nowhere with a rock and clops him over the head. Boom.
Which I died laughing because the smash and the sound, like, it's hard. And listeners, we've talked about head injuries before on the podcast.
That's right.
Many times. And like, if you get knocked out, it's not good.
No.
That's bad for your brain.
Yes, you don't want that.
Like, Dale should 100% be dead.
Yeah.
Somehow he's not. But Sean's like, oh my God, did I kill him? But
Darren's like, don't worry about it, but he'll be fine. It's fine. Yeah. He's fine. He'll wake up soon. It's like, he might be dead.
Nope. So Ariana gets back up and she's like, oh my God, we have to call an ambulance. This guy's probably dead. And Sean's like, oh my God, is he dead?
I knew it.
Darren's like, no, everything's fine. Everything's relax.
They're all freaking out and like something's down there. And Darren's kind of like pushing. He's like, we gotta get out of here. We got this body here. Our boy's down the pit. And everyone's like, we gotta call for help. And they're like, no, let's just get out of here and we'll go from there, right? And then Jamie's like, yeah, I agree. So they hop in, they steal the Woody, and they take off. And this is like the halfway point.
So they just leave Dale.
Yep. Leave Dale and Terry, but Terry's kind of gone. So,
Terry's super gone. Yeah,
super gone. So we're in the Woody ride, and this is like
Sean is just screaming at Darren basically, and he's like, "Yo, you know what? This guy's actually got 5 warnings for scientific misconduct. He's not such a good." And you're like, "Wait, what's scientific misconduct?"
Yeah, wrote a bad
Tell me more
paper?
about that crime.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, yeah, scientific misconduct. Oh, I'm a visionary. And that's what visionaries do.
That's what Zach Avery was saying.
Yeah. I don't think so.
But
and then they crash into a sinkhole, which is wicked funny.
Yes. There's also more of this, like Sean spills the beans
sorry.
about how this is funded and everything. He's like, this is funded by
Right.
someone else, like some corporation. Well, he starts getting into that. We find out more about that later.
He gets
on.
cut off. Yeah.
He got cut
Go
off.
ahead.
This isn't actually for a reason.
Wait, what?
This isn't from Cambridge University, wherever he says he got the money from. So,
Yep.
and then Darren, not only is he terrible at money, not only is he a terrible leader of an expedition group, but he's also a terrible driver and just crashes.
Yep. Right in a sinkhole.
Yep. Damn sinkhole. Right in the old sinkhole.
I'm like, well, I guess we should start walking.
Yep, hits the woods, dark. It's gonna get dark soon. Gotta go. So the team grabs their bags and they start hiking downhill. We're on a hiking montage.
Yep. And then like cut quick back to where they left Dale on the ground to die next to the hole.
Right.
Which conveniently there's a camera
Yeah, the
on the
camera
ground next to him.
shot from the trailer, but it's like they do the shot where it's like the J.J. Abrams. We've seen the shot a million times where the camera, our view is of the camera, and then we get like the flip out viewfinder, and you're seeing him through that, right?
Yep, exactly.
But then they do this thing where like they cut to
Somehow he wakes up.
so anyway, he wakes up, but then they cut to
That guy should be dead.
the footage now is of the camera footage, which is really weird. Like what now we're seeing what like if you're looking through the actual camera that's in the movie,
Yep, that's
which makes no sense. Just leave it all from that one.
right. Nope, they're gonna mix it up.
So Dale calls for help. Then the monster stabs, grabs, and drags, and he's out. He's gone.
Come in, everyone. We got a breach, and they're like, a breach, and then he's doomed forever. But because he got the alarm out, all of a sudden now the alarms are blaring throughout the whole.
They're like
mine.
They're like air raid kind of like alarms throughout the area. So, which
like
is weird because aren't these things attracted by sound?
I mean, I think that's part of it. Like maybe it's a distraction to like have the sound coming from all directions.
Direct directions? Yeah, maybe. Okay.
I don't know. Right. But then the crew back with the crew, and they're like, "Oh my god, I think we set off an alarm." Duh.
What do you think you did? You're literally trespassing. What do you think you did?
And then they start hearing some suspicious growling.
You literally broke through 2 electrified locked fences. I think after the first one, you're like, okay, now you're doing a little B&E. The second one, you're like, now we're doing something serious. Like,
someone wanted us out.
wanted to keep us out or keep something in. Oh. So then we're doing night vision because Ariane's got night vision goggles or camera or something like that.
Yep.
And this whole next scene is basically the good old kids lost in the woods, monster in the woods with them scene.
It's so long.
It really is. I mean, we get a shot of it in the trailer, but this is really long. And it's like, she's like, hey, follow me. Turn off your flashlights. Follow me. I got a light in my bag, which they immediately all spread out.
Yep.
Single file, guys. Single file.
One would think.
Single file. Hold on to someone's in front of his shirt, and well, I'm going to direct you.
There's creatures everywhere. Like
She's the only one who can see.
Yep. Yep. And she can't see anything really either.
Chaos. She's just like all over the place. And then all of a sudden, I think Sean gets snagged here. And there's like monster chops up.
Yeah.
There's gunfire from Jamie.
Yep.
Sean, I think, gets snagged, and then they run away. And then a truck pulls up, and
And we do see the creature real quick. Like we
Real
get
quick,
a brief glimpse of the creature in the night vision, and you're like, oh, it looks kind of like a Morlock from the Time Machine.
Yes, with a mouth for a face.
Right.
And then they get to some road where a truck pulls up, and it's Shelby and some of the couple of locals there, and she's like, "Get in!" They all hop in, and she's just randomly
help.
She's like randomly firing a gun. Like, what are you shooting at? What are
Just
you
like shooting
at?
a shotgun into the woods.
Like, what are you shooting at? These things are attracted by noise. What are you doing?
Ow! It's Sean.
Sean, ow! Stop shooting me! And then I love how she's like, "Go, go, go, go!" And then like it takes like 10 seconds for the truck to get moving.
Yes. Yeah. And then everything's really slow. Like they do a lot to create a sense of urgency in this scene. And then immediately you're like, now the next minute is just them like staring at each other in the truck. Like that just happened.
Yeah. Like, oh
Like,
man. Like
let's speed it up so we can slow it right down.
yeah. Build all this like tension and concern. Just be like,
Yeah.
oh man, we lost Sean. Oh man.
Yeah. I think we fucked up, guys.
I think we shouldn't have opened that second gate. Maybe.
Yep.
Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
So we're back in the village. We bring the kids back to the cabin, and then
lot of people.
We see the shrine, the dad's house here, the shrine to the sun, and
That's right. Some weird drawings of the Morlocks.
ramblings of a madman on the walls, and some very, very detailed and accurate drawings of the Morlocks.
Yep.
with like poison claw, mouth for head, sharp
Yep.
teeth.
Very good diagrams.
Yeah, very good. And then Dad shows up and he's like, "Why y'all here?"
Yeah. Who are you? I'm Darren from the University of Cambridge.
Oh, no one cares. Shut up, Darren. Can I talk to someone who knows what the hell is going on?
We're here for purely academic purposes.
Research. And Dad's like, I don't care. How'd you find us? And then Dad talks to Ariane and was like, there's this weird connection between the two of them. And all of a sudden we're talking about her father.
Well,
and
because she's like, he's like, how'd you find us? Well, my father used to track people for money.
That's right. Yeah.
Look, where's your dad now?
Yeah. Like,
he was like, he lost his way.
Like, what a weird thing to say. Like, where a weird thing to come out with? Like, because my dad tracked people for money. That's how you found.
Do you also?
Is your dad here?
Is he here with us right now?
No? Okay. So how did you find us?
Yeah, and then it's like, and then leaving it with he lost his way, and you're like, well, now I want to know about the dad.
And dad in the scene right now, he's like, we all lost our way. Like,
yep.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
And in the background, Shelby's like, we can't get a hold of Dale or Kane. I don't know what happened to those guys. And we're like, I do.
And we learn a little about Shooterman here, aka Will Patton, aka Dad in the scene. And someone's like, oh, that's Paul Shooterman, whatever. And Shipman, and he's like, oh, founder of Skookum Hills Mining, blah, blah, blah. You're the guy, whatever. Yeah. Like, what do you do now? He's like, we're protection now.
Yeah, now I protect people. Like,
my God.
What?
And who are you protecting?
And then he like kind of goes off on a tangent. He's like, I don't know, maybe this is purgatory, like the place we go to confront our sins and all the bad things we've done before.
These are like random, like religious, like,
what?
Hey, bud, maybe you should save that. Keep that in the back pocket for a little bit. How about we just talk about the facts when we got it right in front of us right now?
Yeah, Sean's dead. Anyone who cares is gone.
Yeah. I kind of like to think it's our purgatory and we're all here facing our sins. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And then some guy named Kip like
keep
calls
the nuts in the basket there, bro.
It's like Kip's like, we got a lot of them out here. There's a breach somewhere. They opened up a sinkhole, and you're like, wait, who's Kip? I know Dale and Kane, and like, what are all these names? Who are all these people?
I don't know. So then they got a plan though. The plan is to find the hole they opened and seal it.
Well, they have a plan in that Paul tells them what to do, which you're like, wait, Paul, shouldn't you be part of this crew? And he's like, go find the hole and seal it before it's too late.
My screen time is already up.
Yeah. You're like, wait, Daddy, are you just going to hang out here? Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, these are jobs for young folks.
Yep.
And then Ariane and Paul share like this kind of like quick moment where they kind of like,
yeah.
All right.
Yep. And then like Shelby gives some more exposition of like, they're like talking to her. Why is this area protected? And she's like, it's not. We protect everybody from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Why isn't it protected? It's like, well, it was dummy, kind of, sort of, until you showed up and opened everything.
This is like as they walk outside to like some weird truck that they stand behind that like they think is shelter. This scene doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it's very spatially. It's all really weird, and it's like so we got Shelby, we got the leftover crew, which is Darren, Ariane, Jamie.
Yep.
Shelby, leader of the locals, a lady who now becomes important, and then
and old guy.
Yeah, an old guy, random old guy.
Inexplicable old guy.
Was that the guy sharpening a knife in the beginning, in the opening?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was,
like, we don't get introduced to, I don't think we know his name, do we?
Just old guy with a knife.
Yeah.
So here's some monster noises, and they're all outside, and like having this conversation about this area is protected, yada, yada, a little more exposition, yada, yada, and they're like in between like a truck and like a trailer. I'm like, where are you? What are you doing?
And Shelby's like making a Molotov cocktail, like just while she's talking, like while she's doing exposition about what's going on. She's like, I think, and you know, whatever. And
I think this is the moment where I was like, this is where it goes off the rails and becomes hilarious. So they're hanging outside, and all of a sudden they get a call on the radar, like, hey, get back to a safe house, you know, and like Shelby's like, it's a little too late. She's like,
out here.
She's like, it's a little too late for that. We're kind of already out here. And then,
which I did, to be fair, up until this point, I think thought there was only one monster. Like I thought was the devil that they were trying to keep in the thing.
Yeah, the devil below, but it's multiple. Yeah.
Now they're like, oh, we've got a breach. We don't know how many are out here.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
So then this was so funny. So they're all sitting there trying to figure out what to do, and the old man just quick jump is like, I'll take care of this. I'm going to go distract him. You all young. I can't run. So you guys run and I'll go distract them. And I was like, what?
Can we make it to the house on the hill over there? Well, not with me.
Yeah.
I'll just kill myself.
Basically. So he's like, tell my wife I didn't get my jacket dirty. Like,
now y'all get the out of here. Go on, get.
He grabs a Molotov cocktail, lights it, runs around the corner, and is like, come on, you motherfucker. And just explodes. You sons of bitches. That's what it was. Come on, you sons of bitches. And just explodes. Hilarious. And then
the monsters are all like shrieking.
Yeah, and they're all just,
okay, well,
and their other crew's just standing there like, okay.
Who was that guy?
So
we're supposed to tell his wife something? He was married?
I don't even know who that guy was. So they make their way to like another barn or like another building of some sort, like
some dark room. Yeah.
A side mission for this video game here. And then they're just listening to monster noises. Like they're kind of hiding out, right? Because the monsters are now around. And it's basically
like pressing her ear to the door, and you're like, "Don't press your ear to stuff." We already learned that's a bad thing to do.
Yeah, it's like a predator meets a clicker from Last of Us, right? You can hear like clicking and like, oh, it just makes noises, whatever. They're tracking noise. Of course they are. And then there's like a monster right at the door, and his mouth is like, ah, right there. And then they scramble around this building for a little bit, right? And the monster's like on them, like kind of chasing them, and then like they distract them with some plates, and then run into like another room. Jamie kicks open a door.
This scene is so slow, by the way. Like Russ is doing a good job of keeping us on track and going through this, but like this scene takes probably 5 minutes.
It really does. So Jamie kicks open a door and they hide next to him. They close that door, and this is actually a shot from the trailer where the monster's on him, right? And the monster punches through the door, knocks Shelby and whoever else was there like aside, and then Jamie gets like tossed like 10 feet back into the room and falls through like a false floor or something like that, like another pit.
Which right before this, they do a little bit of that exposition from the trailer where she's like, now remember, whatever happens, don't let them grab you. They paralyze you and they take you down there. And God only knows what they do to you down there.
Only the Lord knows.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for telling us the whole plot of the movie.
Thanks for giving us an update there. I also love how Jamie busts through the floor and it's like, you just hear a guy in the back and be like, I'm good.
Yep. And then they all just decide to go in the hole. They're like, oh, well, why don't we all just go through the floor? Yeah.
Who's going to catch us in here? So they're like, cool, it's a tunnel. Let's climb through that. So they do.
Which then, the tunnel leads to a giant cave?
Yes.
And Shelby's like, okay, everyone, take these things and go. And you're like, wait, why is every local person here sacrificing themselves for these strangers who brought this on themselves? Like they don't owe these people anything. And she's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to go distract them now. Like, have a little faith. And they're like, alrighty, see you later. And so she like goes back to taunt the monsters. She's like, come and get me, assholes. What?
I love all these locals are just like willing to give themselves up for like these researchers and then for nothing. And then also I love how they keep calling them the monsters by names. They don't know what an asshole is. They don't know what. Stop it. All right. So then our punk research crew here, they find another gate, which of course they love breaking through gates and going through gates, right?
That's right. There's still 3 of them left at this point. It's Darren, Ariana, and Jamie.
Yes, right? our Ponzi scheme guy. And this scene was also very strange. I was confused about how things played out here. So they find another gate and they like climb through, but Jamie gets stuck on one side of it.
Yeah, well, because they put the grate back to try and slow them down. That's kind of the premise. And Jamie's like, all right, well, it's not sticking. Like, I'll just use this grenade that I have in my hand at close range, and like that'll slow him down. And then you're like, wait, what? And so Jamie grenades himself?
Well, no.
With the monster?
So what he did, so he's like, hand me the grenade. He takes a grenade, right? And they do a quick shot of like 2 monsters coming over like through the cave and coming towards him. And he pulls the pin. He turns around to go throw it. And there's like a monster hits him like right there.
Oh, okay.
And he drops it, and he drops a grenade because he was gonna toss
unintentionally.
It. Yes, unintentionally. Okay. He drops it right there. And somehow that grenade does not just toast all of them.
But it mortally wounds him.
Oh, yeah. He's toast. And he just gets dragged away. So I think at this point, Monsters 4, Punk Researchers 0. So
something like that. Amateur Adventurers.
Amateur Adventurers 0. Monsters at least 4, maybe 5.
They're boned. Yeah. And so at this point, it's just Darren and Ariane left. And they like have their ears are ringing. And which means our ears are ringing.
Right.
because then they do a bunch of weird POV stuff like we're in the movie where they're like, all right, well, let's just like climb through this tunnel and we'll get to a different part of the cave.
They like squeeze through like these little tight cavern and like cave things. It's like the cutscene transition shot from a video game, right? You're like, oh, how I get to the next area. And
it again lasts so long. This is like 2 or 3 minutes probably of them like climbing through little narrow gaps and like just barely squeezing through. And they do like POV camera and
This movie's only an hour and 20 minutes too. So then, Darren's like, I can't do it anymore. I can't go on.
I think we lost him.
I can't do it anymore. I'm too British for this. And he sits down. He's like, starts crying or whatever.
I'm sleepy.
I need a tea and a crumpet. I need to sit down. And he sits down and he's like, they're all gone. It's my fault. And then he opens up.
Sorry, British listeners.
That's right. No, they deserve it. And she's like, dude, what the F? Get up. Let's go.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't worry about it. They're probably okay. They're fine. He's like, no, they're not fine. And then he opens up about the whole financial situation.
Like, by the way, we were backed by a private mining company, not the university. It's all for money. Everything's off. They're all gone. It's all my fault for money.
Greed.
Nothing but money.
Back to a sin, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, good call.
He's being tested for his, here it is. So.
Yeah. And then Ariane's like, I guess you were right about what we find here. The truth. What?
I also love the idea that if he was actually funded by like a university, he would still be in the same situation. He'd still be dead, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's exactly the same. It's all so stupid.
Just depends on where the money comes from. It doesn't matter.
The truth.
The truth. About what?
Yeah. And so then she's like, let me tell you a story.
We don't have time for this.
My last tour was a repeat visit with a repeat crew was in the Himalayas. Some guy fell off a cliff and I couldn't get him. But then nobody came to help us. So I just cut the rope. That's what you have to do in situations like that. Cut the rope. And she goes, but I won't do that to you. Come with me. You're like,
oh my God. I wonder if that's like, a foreshadowed dialogue. Sometimes you have to cut the rope. Oh my God.
Yes. What's the fucking point?
I can't drink more tea anymore.
And she's like, fine, you're right. Stay here. I'll come back for you.
Smell ya. Oh, here's some grenades. Or she hands him a belt of something like that.
Yeah, it's like, here's like a flashlight to protect yourself with.
just hang on here. Don't make so much noise. And then we get like a shot of like monster shadows on like the cave walls or whatever.
Yeah, obviously showing up immediately. Yeah.
Roaming around or whatever, right? So we're back at the mine gate here and locals are all armed. This is all the scene from the trailer. Same shot. So they're all lined up with their guns. They're all set up and there's like another gate that says keep out.
And Daddy's like got his hand up. And he's like, hold.
Hold. And they're using some other noise machine, I think, to like draw them all towards them.
Yeah.
And then monsters bust through the gate, and all you just hear is the gunfire. Locals just open up, let it rip, right?
So stupid.
So we're at like a cave. Ariane pushes herself out through.
She like crawls up through the dirt.
Yeah, and she climbs out of the cave, and now she's in the woods, and she can hear the gunfire going.
Yeah,
and then
she can kind of see it. It's not that far.
Yeah, and then she hears a monster coming by, so she hides under an old refrigerator. I don't know, piece of trash out in the Appalachian Mountains.
Like she hides in the complete open.
Yes.
And she's like, "Oh my God!" And this takes forever too. That's how they made this last a feature length was just by dragging out all the stupid parts. And I'm like, this is probably 2 minutes again of her just like sitting there being like, "Oh my God, do you think he's gonna get me?" Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's like a classic horror film kind of tropey thing where you drag out this tense scene to build up, and then you think you're free, and then you're not, and you get caught. That's basically what happens. So she thinks she's free. The monster walks by, everything's tense. You're like, oh no, and then you're like, okay, air of relief, and then she gets up and she immediately gets knocked out.
Yep.
It's like, okay. She gets monster slapped, like, boom.
Yep. And I hate the way that they do this twice in a row. Because now she wakes up somewhere below.
Yes.
Right? And there's only somehow like 10, 15 minutes left of this movie. So I don't know how.
I literally have one running list. So because we're basically in the monster cave house. Monster cave now. Yeah. Right.
And so we see other people down there with her. And then she sees the monster like paddling a raft.
Well, she's on the river. Hold on. So she's on a. Hold on. So she wakes up, she comes to, her vision's a little blurry. And she wakes up and she's on a raft and she looks over, and this is the first time we get a full close-up shot of the monster. It's a dude in a rubber suit. Not enough though. You can see like this is just a
That's
whatever.
right. Yeah.
And then she rolls over and she's on water and the thing is paddling and she looks over and something jumps out at her face. And then that's when she rolls back over. The monster's right on top and stabs her again. Like, yeah, more poison to your
because she screams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're definitely on like the river Styx to hell, right? Like that's like the premise here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then she
wakes up again.
And
they do it twice.
There's like blurry vision of like what looks like like I thought it was like a birth of some sort. I was like, what is happening? What is coming out of that thing's mouth? And it was like something slimy. You can't really make out what it is. And then there's like it looks like a empty black hole pit of a face with like a
little hose,
like a hood or something. And then there's like a hose thing comes down. It's like a slug. Yeah, but it's really blurry, so you can't totally make it out. The bad, probably special effects. And then Sean's still alive, and he's just like, "We got to get out of here." No,
well, and Darren's there first too, and he's like, he's like, "I tried to find you." He's like, "Can you grab the grenade?"
Yeah,
I can't move, and she's like, "No." Yeah. No. And then that's when we get like this, like a weird second of like creature vision. Like it's like really blurry and weird.
Extra
and
blurry, even more blurry. Yeah.
Like what is happening? And that's when Sean's like, it's real, an alternative species.
Like, oh like, my God.
What? They breed and they colonize like ants and bees. If only the world could see.
No, and they drag him. They drag him up to the vacuum cleaner and like he gets his head sucked in from the ant. Eater.
Sean's like, deliver us from evil, and then it's like you're like and then they almost just grab the grenade.
If she was just like 2 inches taller, 1 inch taller, her arm span would reach it. Can't quite get it.
But close. Sean's definitely eaten and dead.
Yeah, I go back to Sean. Sean's head is like, oh no, he's getting sucked in. And then we pan back, and it's like a slug creature. It's like a minotaur type of thing where it's like a slug creature with a weird body in the top,
an upright part,
upright part, and the tail body, and
the hose and
the hose that sucks the heads up. I guess whatever.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's gross.
And she finally gets the grenade,
but she gets grabbed, and she gets grabbed next for feeding time.
That's right.
She got the grenade though, and
then Darren gets his phone out of his pocket.
Yeah, he's like, I got an idea. Remember that alarm that went off for his vitamins way back in Act 1?
Vitamins.
Oh, you know what time it is? It's time for vitamins. He sets his alarm off, and that
use a little vitamin grenade.
A little vitamin grenade right up your anteater hole coming up. Right up your cock hole.
That's right.
300 Empire reference there. So, so the monsters go after him. Yeah. Freeze Ariana up for a little bit, and she's like, I wish she just said a cool line right now, like, suck it up. And threw the grenade in his mouth.
Yep.
We need a good kill line right there. And then
instead, they have somehow time to run away.
She puts the thing in the mouth. She runs, gets him up. They run away, and then we pan back, and the little thing goes and boom, and like insides pop, and it just
seemingly dead. Yeah.
Seemingly dead.
And somehow her and Darren escape miraculously, and they get to the grate, the original grate, and they see the rope up to the top, and they're like, "Oh, perfect!
Remember this? We got a shortcut opening to the opening of the video game. I mean mission.
Start climbing. But for some reason, Darren can't get his harness on.
He sucks. Darren sucks.
Dingus, and so she's 3/4 of the way up, and he's like still struggling with his harness. She's like, "They're coming! Hurry!
Let's go!" So then, she's like 3/4 of the way up, maybe a little higher. He's like right behind her now, finally starting to catch up. But then, hilariously, man in rubber suit monster is also climbing behind him.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They don't have hands to do this.
It's so ridiculous. So the thing is like right behind him, and he's like, "Oh no!" And he's like trying to kick in their fin a little bit.
Yep. And she's like, gives Darren her special knife.
She's like, "Here, take my knife and kill it."
Yeah. She's like, what? Okay. So he stabs it in the head, which doesn't do anything.
No, it just makes it more angry. It's like, and then the thing freaks out, right? And Darren realizes
stabs him.
Yep.
With his claw hand.
Right. And then Darren realizes, I'm not going to win this one. He says something profound, right? And he's like, it's time to cut the rope or whatever, right?
Something like that.
Because it's a line that she had said to her, the story when she in the cave earlier when he was crying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he cuts himself down and falls.
Yep. And she's like, no. And there's like a bunch of monsters down below.
I love how they all pull on him, right? And then it cuts back to her, and like another one, like they're just sitting on her for a really long time. She's like sitting there, and I'm just picturing her mind. She's like, that was my favorite knife. No. There goes my favorite knife.
And then meanwhile, beard guy from the shop at the beginning is like up at the top of the rope, and she's like, pull me up, help, like this is like, help, everything bad is happening. And he's like, I can't,
I gotta cut you down. I'm right here.
I can't
do it.
And then daddy shows up and he's like, don't worry, I've got you. I need to be in this movie for at least a couple more minutes.
He pulls her up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So they get her, but then obviously one crawls out of the hole right behind them.
Right.
And they're like, oh, but thankfully there's guys with guns and flamethrowers that immediately destroy it.
Dad's like, torch it, man. I love it. Yeah. Just torch it.
And it's like a weird slow-mo walk away for him, and he's like, and the music's like, and like out of nowhere. Like, wait, there hasn't been music for 20 minutes.
Meanwhile, the monster's like flying its arms like ridiculously while it's on fire.
Yeah.
And like they're shooting it. Like, what is going on? Why would you show the monster like this? Yeah. It's so not scary now.
Yeah. And then he's got Ariane under his arm, and she's like, I'm the only one left. And he's like, are you sure? And
classic.
Like, yeah. And he's like, let's get you out of here.
Yeah, where's the rest of your group? She's like, I'm the final girl.
What?
Yeah, you are. Classic.
What? And then we just like cut to you driving in a car.
Yeah, they're driving in Daddy's Jeep here, and they get to the gate where this all happened. He drives her to the gate to her Jeep, whatever, and he goes on about how
it gets even stupider.
Yeah,
if you thought it couldn't get dumber, the plot is about to get worse.
Yeah, let's turn the dumb to 11 because here we go. Yeah. So then he's going on about how they took his son. He's been fighting him. This is all from the trailer too. He's been like, I've been fighting him ever since, right? And he's like, I'm keeping them contained. And he's like, and they're going back and forth. And she's like, yeah, people should know about this. And he's like, people aren't ready for it.
Yeah. And she's like, well, you have to tell someone.
Yeah. He's like, they wouldn't believe it if I told them. Okay.
And then he's like, what do you do when you find the truth? Do you go and tell the truth to everyone? No, of course not. Do you stay and fight this thing with us? And you're like,
what?
What's the line of thinking? Like, say again.
That's one of those lines where like we've come across these many times where like that's a line of dialogue where you write it and you're like, that sounds cool. But if you actually sit down and really think about it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And she's like, me? And he's like, you're a survivor. And she's like, well, you can't possibly think that you're going to win against these monsters, right? And he's like,
I believe we can.
Yeah, well, because guns take them out. So yes, you definitely could win this if you just tried a little harder.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have taken 40 years.
No, come up with a plan. They're all down in a pit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And he's like, and she's like, no, I've got to go back to my life. Which earlier when they were like, I bet she doesn't want to go back to her life.
Right.
And
it's
he's
all
like,
back.
Okay, fine. Good luck. She gets out.
Good luck. So
they do a bunch of like back and forth cutting.
Yeah, but like her Jeep, her walking away, his face,
his face,
his word, her walking away, right? And then
looks sad.
And it takes so long, and then it cuts to her coming back to the Jeep, which I thought was her Jeep, and I was like, "Wait, is she getting her own Jeep? What's happening right now?" And she opens the door to his Jeep, throws the rope in, and she's like, "I figure we need this," and gets in.
Yeah, the one thing you got from the van is the rope.
Sequel, baby, let's go.
Yeah. And then she just looks blank. Like her face just looks like, is it over? Is the movie done? Can I stop? Pan away from me. Yep. And then they do. And then they like back up and it takes like 30 seconds. The car like backs up like 15 feet before it turns around. You're like, wait, why is it just going in reverse for so long? Like,
this is where you can do a jump cut and just show them, driving away into the sunset, into the wood set.
Yeah. Nope. And then instead, there's even one more focus on the lock on the gate. And like, that's the end.
The end.
What? And then the credits have like a bunch of like fire and like
for like the first like minute or so.
Maps and fire holes. It's so stupid.
Off the rails.
Oh, what a nightmare movie.
Yeah. I'm glad it turned into what it was, though, and I'm so glad Zach Avery existed and did all this stuff, because that just, I mean, obviously ruining people's and friends' lives is terrible, but, I mean...
they're rich people.
Not his friends and family, they weren't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
So, yeah, I don't think a sequel's coming.
No. Thankfully. No one's going to greenlight that for a sequel anyway.
No, The Devil Below 2. They're returning. They're returning.
Yeah. Even below her.
Even below her. The Pittening.
The pitting. I like that.
Okay, so
ameliorate?
Yeah. Hour and 20 minutes. Beautiful time.
Yeah, no notes on that.
Music is great. Music is great. Keep the music. I like that.
Music was great.
I think take a chapter out of the Alien and Jaws book. Don't show the monster. Or show very little of it.
Yep. I think that you're on a good track there. Not only don't show the monster, don't have so much dialogue because it's all bad.
Not good.
Like less lines, do more showing, less telling.
Yeah. If you don't know how to write dialogue, don't do it. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess you don't know until someone tells you, but
we're telling you now.
Yeah.
Less of that, please.
Yeah. And there's just so many plot holes too. That's the problem with this.
Yep. Give us a little bit more backstory, maybe on like the interesting characters, like Ariane or Darren. Like, make us invested in that, because like I don't care about any of the characters the whole time. Even Daddy, who's only in the movie for 10 minutes, and we saw his son die, and that's his entire motivation. Yep. Like, I don't care about any of these characters. We don't know enough about any of them.
They don't do very much. They give you hints like in the opening. You're like, okay, cool, kind of interesting. But then like halfway through, they just give that all up. And it's like, oh, these are all actually one-note characters. They're like, here's your religious guy. Here's your scientist research guy who's looking for to change the world. And then, you know what I mean? It's like,
we're just going to kill them one by one anyway.
Yeah, no one has any depth anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or I say, lean in. Don't be so serious and lean into the cheese. Like I've said it a million times, if you're doing a low budget thing, lean into the cheese, because like at least make it awesomely bad.
Yeah, don't blur the rubber at the end. Like I want to see the rubber suit.
Yeah. Have her say
Show me the zipper.
Yeah, have her say a kill line when she puts the grenade up the thing's mouth and be like, and just close up on her, and she's like, suck this up.
Yeah, holes in smoke, huh?
Yeah. How about this in your hole? You know,
that's right. Yeah.
Something cool like that.
Yeah, more hole talk.
More hole talk. Definitely more hole talk.
Put Daddy in the movie, because again, they set him up to be the main character, and then immediately he wasn't in it.
We feel it. It feels like we got like a really bad, like kind of Bruce Willis, Nick Cage bad movie, where it's like they're using him to market. Well, not that they're using him to market the movie, but people know who he is. I mean, he's been around for long enough, right?
Someone knows who he is.
He's got fan base, right?
Right.
50 to 60-year-old demographic, you know.
Yeah, wasted.
I don't know what else. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that kind of sums it up. Like,
yeah. Creatures.
There's a lot. It could have been good.
It's just tough when you're doing creatures in the pit. I don't honestly. At first I was like, is this kind of like a mockbuster? Or like, are they trying to? Obviously, like they're jumping on like maybe other things that came out around the same time, and it's just I don't know.
I wonder.
You done?
I think so. Yeah, shut it down.
All right, let's seal up this mine, right?
But with good grades.
Yeah, let's. Yes.
Good
Solid.
grades, not the kind that you can just lift off.
No. Yeah. We're not making this easy. So, let's die out this coal seam fire. Huh? That's what I did there. All right, anyways, thanks for listening. I'll be back next week with a new movie and trailer trash. We don't know what that is. You're going to find out soon. In the meantime, you follow us on Instagram. It's This Meets That. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Set us to auto download. And if you like the show, please, for the love of God, tell a friend.
That's right. Or tell a stranger and leave a review somewhere where you can leave reviews. Apple, Spotify, they all let you do that these days. 5 stars, maybe a comment if you're allowed. Something nice, something mean. As long as it's with 5 stars. You don't care.
We do not care.
Or if you're feeling old fashioned, you want to send us one of them old timey emails about coal mines or something. Do that. Tell us your best coal mine story.
Yeah. Did you have any more coal mine facts, or did you forget them all again?
Yeah, I forgot them all. We're moving along at a good clip.
Yeah, I know. You're feeling good about it. Okay.
I know. Well, I've been doing the facts when things are feeling boring.
We're still working the facts segment out here.
Yeah. Next time I'll put notes in to say, do a fact here.
Yeah, maybe every other scene or every 2 scenes or something.
Yeah, that would be smart. Yeah. Yep. Nope. Completely forgot. And neither of us remembered it until right now. So send us an email about that. Tell us the things we missed. What's that new segment that we try to do sometimes? Who knows?
We get it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Do you
We've done it a couple times.
Yes. Yes.
3 out of the last 5, I think.
Yes.
But it's thismeetsthat@gmail.com is the place where you would do that. Or go to the website where you can find episodes, merch, info about the show. Probably not information about Russ's book Host, but you can buy that wherever you buy books.
Yeah.
And all kinds of other shit. It's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out.